Hi everybody, welcome back to our channel. This is Yafal. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe so that you'll be updated for the next videos that we'll be uploading in the coming days. And now we'll have our May 2021 predictions for our love teams, the AlDub, the MayWard, and the KimXi, right? So let's read first our reminder or caveat about the nature of predictions. So predictions are not 100% accurate. All predictions are for entertainment purposes only, and no guarantee can be given as the accuracy of a reading. Predictions do not replace professional, medical, legal, or business opinion advice. It will not force you to follow a particular course of action or attempt to exert any form of control over your free will and common sense. Any decisions made or actions taken by you as a result of the predictions are your sole responsibility and have not been forced upon you by me. I assume no legal liability for any damages, losses, or other consequences of any client or viewer decisions subsequent to or based on the predictions. Please use your own common sense and judgment at all times, and viewers and clients' discretion is always advised. Okay, so let's now start reading the predictions for our love teams. So we start with Alden Richards. Okay, so the first part of May for Alden, we're seeing some better strategists that he is involved with. There's a good story that we're going to be seeing, and they're good choices. And this can lead further for him to be well respected, and he'll have better organization, and he will have good gains in following the rules. However, there is an energy of, on a personal note, there's an energy of betrayal we are seeing, and it can cause some pain and anger for him. Although, he's quite attractive at this time, so this involves some close male person or a close friend or a younger person or another artist. This can lead to even though amidst the betrayal, this can still lead to some good connections and he will still be motivated, but his personal happiness will be affected. On the next half of May, we are seeing some unsuccessful activity. It kind of will give big impact to Alden. But since he has a nice identity and good social media and good connections, it can still lead to having some good relations with his bosses. He will still have some compliances and still have good recognition. There's also an activity that has mixed effects. On one hand, it can give him better comrades, good endorsements, and him being seen as having his own stand. And on the other hand, there will be some strong rivals, some public relations concerns, and being unconvincing. There are also changes noted due to some instability, and it can lead to some unpleasant and financial concerns. It can involve some male person and some authorities. It could have some concealment and difficult problems, but at least there are good gains that he can get from such struggles. There are also changes due to instability at work. It can give him some extreme personality and even some danger and monetary losses if not being careful. This could involve some male colleagues or some other bosses, and it can potentially affect his image and some endorsements, but still he can gain good popularity. There is also an unsuccessful romantic activity on a personal note, but since he has good self-esteem, there are good close male persons, and he can still have access to his favorite items. This can still lead to having a good relations with a close child or a close younger person. He will still have better order and he will still have personal approvals obtained. We now go to Maine Mendoza. So on the first part, we are seeing, initially, Maine could be a little bit unimaginative. He could also have some mediocre strategist, and she might experience some biases. However, she has very good competitiveness, so that's nice, and still will have good public relations and good financial management. There is an unsuccessful activity that can give long-term effect for her. So initially, there are already bad experiences she's having. There are affected benefactors and being generally unsupported, and somehow it can give a bad story. She might be involved with a poor artistic works, and there is a general unhappiness seen. On a personal note, there is an activity with some impact given to her. Um, Initially, it's like she's uninformed. There is some problematic healing and some broken promises. And it could lead to some issues with a close child or a close younger person. It can give some impracticalities and personal bad choices. Health wise, check her mental health and respiratory, as well as some reproductive UTI or eating disorder. Next phase, there are concealments noted, some social media issues, and some endorsement concerns. And it's because there are some strong rivals and public relations concerns as well, and as well as entertainment issues. There is a noted unhappy home or workplace due to her actions. It could involve some bosses, authorities, other stars, and some female persons, and it could affect her ideas, her happiness, her fame. But still, there could be good connections and endorsements seen at this time. And then in the third phase, we are seeing some good boss relations. Stuff can be fixed at this time, and there are compliances, and it could give her good male person relations. She'll be very charismatic and she'll have a winning energy at this time. There is a general activity here with a mixed effect, and it has a long term effect. On one side, there could be some poor operations being stagnant and some poor visions, and on the other side, she will have good risk taking. There is better business development, and she'll be talked about in positive way. On her work, there's also an activity at work with mixed result. On one hand, there are good, not so nice managers or mismanaged projects. And on the other hand, there's good marketing and nice opportunities, and she can tap to other people's talents. On a personal note, similarly, there is also a personal activity with mixed result. On one hand, she could be street smart, she'll have better investments, and she could use her funds well. On the other hand, there might be some risky activities. There are personal mess and some assets issues. Just take note of her health. She might be prone to fatigue and some diet issues. And there is a tendency that she will be trapped in her own world, unable to show her talents and feeling depressed. But there's still potential recognition that we are seeing. This could involve some bosses, some husband like lover, and this could affect some order and fame. And again, check her diet health wise and should have a balanced lifestyle. We go to Edward Barber. Okay, so the first half, we're seeing some humanitarian activity that is quite favorable for him. There is nice identity, there is good social media presence, and good connections. And it would also give him better business partnership. He will be very charismatic, and there will be agreements due to his humility. There's also another activity with good results. It can give him good enhancements, nice enjoyment, and better image. And it could also give him good trends, long term investments, and wonderful experiences. There is, though, a noted betrayal due to some carelessness. It's like he's going to be prone to lots of gossip, some villains and setbacks, some legalities and disputes. It could involve some senior assistants, some authorities. It could have some fame issues for him, but there are noted fans and supporters for him still, so not that good, not that bad rather. Health wise, just be careful of some pain and some danger, just to be careful with that. Work, there is initially a good manager scene, there are good projects and consistent income, and it could lead further to a good male colleagues interaction, better acting, and general wealth gains. There is another work activity that's quite sympathetic. It can give better honor, nice colleague interactions, and better events. There would also be better deals for him. He'll be able to estimate well, and he'll have good winning energy at this time. On a personal note, there is also some romantic activity with good results. It could give him self-esteem, good close people interaction, and nice personal stuffs. And it could also make him adaptive, will have nice gathering and good agreements. On the second half of May, we'll see there is a short activity that will not push through. Initially, there are good risks taken and good opportunities, but still, it can give him good enhancement and nice enjoyment. There is something addictive or that could be excessive for Edward, so be careful because it could give some danger, health issues, and disputes. It could have some big impact. It can involve some senior assistant bosses or a child or a younger person. It can give him some compliance and have organized stuff, but his comfort and some support might be affected. And personally, some mother related stuff can also be affected, and his mental health and respiratory should also be checked at this time. There is a noted activity with good results. It gives him good enhancement, good enjoyment, good trends, and good investments. At work, there is a betrayal due to some confusion, and it involves some seniors, work assistants. He can still have good work income and deals at this time amidst such energies. There's also a quick work activity that did not proceed. Initially, there's effective mentors, good improvements. However, it can still lead to good marketing and nice opportunities, even if it did not go push through. There are good relations with parents seen at this time. And on a personal activity, there is also an unsuccessful short activity. It involves some lovers, some ownership and use of funds, but still, it can give him fulfilled promises and good personal assistance and good experiences, even though if it did not push through. Let's go to Maymay Entrata. So, first part of May, we're seeing there's initially nice identity, good social media presence, and good connections. However, just be careful because she might become unimaginative and she might not be able to appreciate the good life. There is a noted unsuccessful activity with some long-term effects for her. Initially, she's supposedly to have some charisma, good male-person relations, and nice public relations, but it could lead to some difficult fighters being demanding and could be talked about negatively. Health wise, take care of some pain and some danger. On the next phase, initially, we're seeing my mind to have some clouded thoughts. There could be some unknown adversaries and some bad experiences, and it could somehow lead to some mediocre strategies, some destruction, and being trapped in one's ideas. There's also an activity that can give some undesirable results. It could make her unimpressive. There are poor enhancements and bad experiences. There could also be some miscalculations, lavish items, and issues with manufacturers. There is another unsuccessful activity, though initially there are supportive fellow stars. She'll be able to deliver results, and there is nice launching. However, there are stuffs that are overlooked, and she could possibly be trended negatively, and it could affect her long-term investments. Health-wise, check her mental health, respiratory. She might have low energy and some emotional issues at this time. On the third phase, we're seeing while there are unacceptable methods noted, some inflexibilities, and some risky activities, and it could lead to some lack of innovation, poor creations, and some bad choices. There is also some noted boss relations that are affected. The environment is quite strict and stuffs are quite disarranged, and this can lead to having a bad story, poor artistic works, and some unhappiness noted, and this can have big impact for her. Now, at work, there is a fear noted. It could be related to some disease and gossips. It could be disastrous if she's not being careful. Initially, there are like good mother related stuff. She's inspirational, good benefactors, and noted supporters. However, it could potentially lead to some very risky work and problems at work as well, and some big gossips. There is another unsuccessful work activity. There is already a boss relations issue. Stuffs are quite disorganized and issues with permits, and it could lead further to some entertainment issues, being unproductive, and work experiences biases. On a personal note, there are changes noted due to some emotional or sentimental stuffs. There is noted travel and could have some personal monetary losses if not careful. So initially, there are noted romance issues, some issues with a close child or a younger person, and some personal plans that are not so nice, and then it could lead to some lover concerns, my being impatient, and some bad attacks. Personally, check her reproductive or eating disorder and be careful of some dangers. So, she could do some more efforts, or just lay low at this time. We go to Xian Lim. So, in the first half of May, we're seeing an activity involving some humanitarian acts. It could lead to some better strategy, giving good story, and general happiness. It could also have some supportive stars who will have the desired attention, and he'll have good launching. So, there are. Next, we're noting some changes due to some interferences or people worrying too much. There's also noted travel and some monetary losses if not being careful. This could involve some female person, some connection manager, or even the lover. It could affect his deals and partnership, but at least there's still consistent income and good assets that can be attained. Now, there is a general project or activity that could lead to having nice identity, good social media, and nice endorsements. And it could further lead to having his good competitiveness, nice public relations, and better business partnerships. Work wise, we will be seeing him to be working hard, or he will have good shows and good presentations, and it could lead to having more supportive bosses and good gains from his struggles and some grand fame. What's this? On still at work, there is a sympathizing work activity. It involves some artistry. You'll have good music and entertainment, good choices, and it could also lead to him being charming, having good showmanship, and general prosperity at work. On the next half of May, there is a personal activity. I'm sorry, an activity or a partnership that have long-term effects. It can give him better comrades, good connections, and wealth gains, and also becoming more charismatic, having good financial management, and having that winning energy. It could further lead to being respected, having good bosses relations, and having a better organization. At work, there is a betrayal due to some confusion and some extreme personality, though he's still quite attractive at work. It could involve some male colleagues, connections, and authorities at work. It could affect his work deals, but he will still have supportive allies and grand fame. On a personal note, there's something addictive, so just be careful because it can give accidents, health problems like his nerves or loss of balance, and quarrels if it's not careful. It will involve some close male person, close friends, close seniors, and close mentors. It might affect his personal connections and motivation, but he will have some emotional fulfillment and wonderful experiences still. And still, on a personal note, he'll have some good self-esteem, good connection with people, and nice personal stuff. And he could also have good relations and interaction with a close child or a younger person. Rules will be followed, and he will have better personal order. We now proceed with KimXi. Okay, so on the first half of May, we're seeing initially some concealment, some connections issues, and problems are difficult to face. However, she can become adaptable. She will still have good returns, and she will have good use of some methods. There is a noted unsuccessful activity that can have long-term effect for her. It may involve some bosses issues, some non-compliances, and general fame issues. However, there are still good strategists on her side. She can still have a good story and good choices at this time. There is another unsuccessful activity that has big impact for her because of some poor operations, some poor visions, and asset issues. It could further lead to some issues with a female person, could also have some social media issues, and concerns on her endorsements as well. At work, we're seeing some concerns with a male colleague, some problems with her deals, and some overpromising and underdelivering. However, she will end up being charismatic, still giving 100% effort, and still have that grand fame. Health-wise, just check her eating disorder and avoid a very strict diet, and as well as her loss of balance potential and nerves and fatigue and insomnia, so she needs to rest well. On the second half of May, so initially we're seeing some financial management concerns, some conflicts due to some egos and some losing energy, and it might lead to some abandonment, some non-compliances, and again some fame issues. There's an instance that Kim might be embarrassed of a past event. It could affect her confidence, although she's very attractive, but there might be some danger if not being careful. It can involve some male person, some enemy, some strategist, and some artist. It could affect her partnership in public relations, and it could further lead to unwanted attention and difficult to deliver good results. At work, we're noting some betrayal involving some close people at work, trusting too much, and it could involve some male colleagues, some managers, and even rivals. It could affect her connection, deals, opportunities, and investments. On a personal note, Kim might have some self doubts, issues with some close persons, and even some issues with her personal items. It could lead to some bad gathering, some lies and deceits, and personal splurges. Her health, again, the loss of balance, check that one, some nerves and the stamina and her limb problems. Just be careful. And then we're seeing some, still on a personal note, at least we're seeing some good romance here and good relations with a close child or a young person. And yeah, there is personal happiness seen. Careful though, because there might be some husband like lover concerns. Some rules might be broken and could have some chaos. And again, the health, her eating disorder, or avoid a very strict diet. Okay, I think that would be all for now. So we've covered AlDub, MayWard, and KimXi. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you very much for watching.